It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
All right, good morning.
That I could find
The
out.
Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're at Washita Correctional Center on Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. It's 10:16 a.m. I'd like for the officer there at Washita to please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, it's Deputy Marchand.
Thank you so much for accommodating us again this morning, Mr. Marchand. And we have, I'd like to ask the offender, please introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
Brant Anselmi, 716788.
Yes, sir, Mr. Anselmi, and let me introduce the panel to you. My name is Cheryl Renatza. Mrs. Stapleton is seated to my left. Mr. Freeman is seated to my right. I want to acknowledge that we also have some guests that are joining us. We have your mother, Ms. Broussard, and your cousin, Jordan, both of whom will be speaking on your behalf. And we also have your sister, Britland, who is watching, but she will not be speaking this morning. So I'll read some identifying information into the record, after which I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Stapleton. Your case has been assigned to her. She'll take the lead on the interview. Once we are done with our questions, we'll hear from the folks who've indicated they want to speak, and then you'll be allowed to make a statement at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Anselmi, you are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 14-year sentence. You were sentenced in November 14, 2016 for aggravated battery, indecent behavior with a juvenile. Then you have another sentencing date, September 25th, 2018, aggravated second-degree battery. Those sentences are running consecutively, so it is a 14-year sentence. Parole eligibility date has passed. That was October 8th, 23. Your good time date is September 24th, 2027. Does all that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Would you answer Mrs. Stapleton?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I see that, well, good morning. And
Good morning.
I see that on the first charge that happened 2015. And
Yes,
of course,
ma'am.
I read that it was actually a scam. It was a Facebook scam, and y'all went to the person's house. Can you tell me something about that particular charge?
Well, it was a scam at first, like everything, it was, I guess you could say teenagers being teenagers, but I really got set up on the whole ordeal. But in the end, they got me with indecent behavior with a juvenile because I was 17 and she was 15. But it was just, I guess you could say teenagers being teenagers, man. I mean.
Okay, so that's the juvenile rape. You were 17 and she was 15 with that happen?
Yes, ma'am. That's what the indecent behavior with a juvenile came in at.
Were y'all boyfriend and girlfriend?
I mean, we were seeing each other for some months. We never identified each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, but we had been seeing each other for months.
Was it consensual? Are you saying it was consensual?
Yes, ma'am. That's how I got indecent behavior with a juvenile, because she had came to court and let the judge know that it was consensual. Her mom was trying to push the issue. Her mother was pushing the issue on the rape charge.
Okay. Can you tell me about the Facebook issue? The one that you had a victim and it was a Facebook situation. You went to the house and then you were charged.
The aggravated battery?
Do you remember the one in 2015 that y'all went and you stole $8 from a person, Mr. Langshaw?
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't a more of a scam. It wasn't really about the money. The person that did something to my cousin, which he took some pictures out of my cousin's phone and some naked pictures at that, and sent it to the whole family. And I mean, it was really for us to really beat him up, but we ended up getting his money instead. I was young. I couldn't think at the time, honestly. I was young and dumb. Now I've been in jail 9 years. I done changed a whole lot. If I could speak to him right now, I apologize. And if I could take it back, I would, but unfortunately I can't. And, I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm just ready for my second chance to be able to, go out there. I came to jail when I was 17. I haven't been home ever since.
You were 17 when you went to his house to pick him up? That's your first offense I see
Right.
here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
17. Now, he did release a statement. I'm not reading the whole thing, but he said it was okay to say it. One of the conditions that he had, if you were to be released, would be that there would be no contact.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, if you wanted to write an accountability letter or something like that,
I most definitely would love to. Honestly, I would love to, and apologize for my wrongs. Honestly.
All right, I think that would be a good thing for you to do. I see here that you've attended a lot of programs. One of the things he asked if you attended was an anger management program.
Yep.
You
Yes,
did?
ma'am. I did. Yes, ma'am. In 2018, I graduated anger management.
That's very good. And then I see that you attended sex offenders 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say that you were young and that y'all were both young when that happened.
Right.
Okay. And can you tell me something else about your programs? That you
I'm certified in CPR. I'm certified forklift, NCCR. I'm certified in micrometer. I have my high set. I just took my high set a month ago, I think. I got my high set. I think that's all my classes.
One more question I have for you about your offenses. 2017 was an aggravated battery in 2nd degree in prison.
Right.
And there was a video that showed you to be the aggressor. Can you explain what happened there?
Well, in being incarcerated, it's basically a respect thing. And, I don't mean to play the race card or nothing, but as a young white boy in jail, it's hard. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's hard. And he was jacking off in the shower while looking at me, and that's a big old no-no. And if I let him get away with it, then everybody's gonna feel like they can do it. And that's another one if I could take it back, I promise you it would have never happened. If I can honestly go back, and I'll write him a accountability letter and everything. If I can go back, I honestly would apologize to every one of my victims, honestly. Because like I said, that case too, I was still young. Honestly, it was a respect thing with the whole situation, the whole scenario. It was a respect thing. And it just happened how it happened, and I regret it. I honestly do. I regret it a lot.
See something. It's a miracle he didn't die. He was stabbed in his head and his torso. That could have been a murder.
Yes,
so that's more than you got to respect me. I can see hitting somebody in the jaw and say, "Don't do this to me." But go after somebody yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but see, what they didn't put in the report is he also had a weapon. He just didn't hit me with it. Yeah, he didn't hit me with it. He also had a weapon though. He just didn't get a chance to hit me with his weapon. I'm not with the knives and all that. I'm not really too much with that. But to protect myself, I'd have to.
I understand.
I had to protect myself, and he was a big boy. I don't know if y'all got the pictures. He was a big boy.
Okay, well, for myself, that's all my questions, and then I'll pass it to my.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Anselmi, let me advise you that there is opposition by the sentencing judge, by the sheriff in Ouachita Parish, the police chief in Monroe, and West Monroe are all opposed to an early release for you.
Ma'am, I'm
just letting you know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not what you do about it, but you need to be aware of it.
Right.
So what is it? You said you've been in jail 9 years. What do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am. My Jordan Tron actually has me a job. My cousin that's on here right now, he has me a job.
What do you do in prison?
I haven't had a job. My father was trying to get me shipped down south to be on a road crew as a weed eater and lawnmower, doing that. But they never gave me a job. It's hard to get a job in jail. You have to honestly tell on something to get a job. And
yeah, you never asked for a job.
Yes, ma'am. I wrote plenty of requests in a lot of facilities that I've been in.
You were in work release at one point in time. What happened there?
I've never been to work release, ma'am.
Tangipahoa Parish?
Yes, ma'am, but I wasn't in the work release program.
It says you were, but I guess
No, I was never eligible for work release besides my last 4 years.
Tangipahoa Parish Jail and Transitional Work Program, 2019.
I wasn't even eligible for parole then, ma'am. For work release.
Well, let me ask the officer there, Deputy Marchand, is there anything you can tell us about Mr. Anselmi?
He's been with us a few times since 2017. He's never had an incident or write-up while here. And we would like to put him to work, but OCC policy is due to the aggravated nature of his charges, he isn't qualified or isn't opportunity to work here, even though we'd like to, but that's sheriff's orders. So, but no, since he's been here with us, he's been a model inmate for us.
All right, good to hear. Thank you, sir. We'll hear from the folks that want to speak on your behalf. First, we'd like to hear from your mother, Ms. Broussard.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Broussard, what would you like us to know? Your microphone's on mute. We can't hear you. Unmute your mic, please.
Can you hear me now?
Ma'am.
Okay. I just think Brent, he's a great kid. He really is. He's had some misfortune, some unfortunate incidents, but he's a great kid. He has a job waiting on him. He has a residence waiting on him, and he has a whole community waiting on him. We just want him to come home.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We appreciate you joining us this morning. And Jordan Trahan, we'd like to hear from you.
Yes, ma'am. Pretty much what I wanted to say is being in contact with him from the beginning. It was rough, the first couple years, but the past I can say like 4 years, he has grown a lot. I can call myself somewhat of a mentor for him. I just really wanted to come join the meeting to show my support, let you guys know that he does have a job waiting. I have been running my own company for about 3.5, 4 years, and I would love to have him by my side. As soon as he does get an opportunity to be released, I'll be there for him to kind of help him get back into the swing of things with society, getting him on the right track, maybe potentially opening up his own business.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for joining us this morning. I just have one more question, Mr. Anselmi. You have a loss of good time in March of 2021. What was that for?
A phone?
That's why when you were at Riverbend?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the con.
Is that your last write-up?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a problem with drugs, alcohol when you was on the street?
Yes, sir.
Have you taken any classes for that?
I was in substance abuse, but they shipped me from I think it was, I want to say Caldwell. I was in substance abuse, but they shipped me before I can finish it.
Do you think you need substance abuse treatment?
I haven't done drugs in over 4 years, I think, sir. I think it's 4 years. I haven't done any drugs.
Right, but they can come back to haunt you, you know.
Right.
That.
Once an addict, always an addict, most definitely. But
I want to hear that. Okay.
No.
Anything you want to say to us before we vote?
Yes, ma'am. I'd honestly just love a second chance. Like I said, I'm a second time offender, but both of my offenders, I've only been in jail one time my entire life. This is the first time, and I promise you it's going to be the last. I just need my second chance so I can come show my family. My mom needs me very bad. I just would love for my second chance, please.
All right. Pen prepared to vote? We have a motion for executive session by Mrs. Stapleton. Second by Mr. Freeman. Can you do the roll call, please?
Cheryl Renowski.
Yes.
C. Freeman.
Yes.
Pamela Stapleton.
Yes.
Mr. Anselmi, we have voted. We will be in executive session for just a few moments to discuss confidential matters. Just stand by. We'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Anselmi, we are back in regular session. It's 10:35 and we are ready to vote. And Mrs. Stapleton will be voting first.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Anselmi, my vote is to grant you parole today. And I'll have a special condition of that you attend Thinking for Change. And, see your mother on Zoom. You know what it's like to be a mother, so, you know, and I know that your cousin has something waiting for you. So I'm so happy you have good family support. And I pray with them that from this day forward, your life is different and improved and that you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Anselmi, my vote is also gonna be grant conditional upon you completing that class. You have no contact whatsoever with any of the victims. Okay,
Yes, sir.
if you get around those victims, you best leave.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
And you know, I'm kind of worried about your drug problem, but you can be living in Abbeville, so the closest place we got for you would be Lafayette. Do they have some AA meetings in Abbeville?
Yes, sir.
Let's start out taking 2 of those for the first a week, for the first 6 months, and then you decide.
I sure will, sir. I thank y'all so much.
All right, Mr. Anselmi, I do concur with my colleagues. My vote today is to grant your parole with those stipulations. Now, listen, you have to take the Thinking for Change prior to release.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So we'll
ma'am.
get you, I don't know if they have it there. If they don't, we're going to.
They do. They do.
Okay, so we'll get you enrolled in that program.
Yes,
And then,
ma'am.
after release, you, attend 2 AA meetings a week for 6 months. And then as you think you need to,
Yes,
no
ma'am.
contact with any of your victims whatsoever.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, look, you're a second offender, but you got 3 crimes and we don't want to see you again.
It's ma'am, I'm never coming back to jail. I can promise y'all that.
All right, good deal.
I thank y'all so much.
We're going to sign off at 10:37. Thanks, Deputy Marchand, for accommodating us this morning.
Yes, ma'am.